we have to go to Leopold's portfolio because everyone's going to want to know what were the stocks that he was in that blew him up. The Wall Street darling no longer owns public positions. And it's because we have some numbers. And it looks like the largest holding by far was SanDisk and Micron. He was very much memory pilled. I think the tough thing about this is like directionally, I think he was correct. He just got totally liquidated. But SanDisk's position was 28.5% of the book. He had Micron at 28% of the book. And then, I mean, together, that's over half of the book is in Micron. And then there's Bloom Energy at 9.5%. We know how much he was up on that. We have TSMC, Nebius, CoreWeave, a couple of the neo clouds, and then everything else combines for about 18% of the portfolio. So he was heavily involved in these memory stocks. We know he was using some leverage. And it appears as if that's what blew him up.
Yeah, so the saddest part about this is probably all of these positions have been decimated. I saw rumors, I think it was reported from Bloomberg about a week ago that he now has a casual, $500 to $1 billion open equity position, but the majority still lies in his Anthropic stake for now. But I think if we look at the Leopold thesis in general, which was doubling down on AI infrastructure, particularly in memory and neoclouds, that thesis is still very alive and well. And let's pause and on the memory position. It's had a pretty rocky month. If you remember, I think 2 weeks ago, we were reporting on SK Hynix reporting their best quarterly earnings ever. They made more money in a single quarter than they did in an entire year last year, but their stock tanked about 20% the preceding week. And so the thesis behind that was people thought that memory investors were too over-leveraged and that we were reaching a top where GPU infrastructure, NVIDIA, and all the people that were buying memory could not want to buy more memory. Recent news has been revealed from SanDisk over their investing day that not only is that not true, but all these major investors that we're going to be covering in this episode today have doubled down and bought more, especially at the lows recently. And also, SanDisk in particular has developed this new type of memory. It's called high bandwidth flash. And I just want to take 20 seconds to describe what this is. There's a couple different types of memory. There's DRAM, which is like your standard memory type. There's HBM, which is your high bandwidth memory, which is specialized for AI GPUs specifically. And then there's this thing called high bandwidth flash, which is this new thing, which was created by SanDisk and honestly dominated by them. And it's used for inference mainly. And inference recently has become the major trend in AI. It's actually consuming so much CapEx spend for the hyperscalers from Google, Amazon, and the likes. And so SanDisk in particular stands to benefit the most from this. And they have this new memory type, which is being ordered or backlogged already into the end of 2027. So this is a new revenue opportunity for them. And we haven't seen exceeding demand like this ever before. So the point is the memory argument is still very strong. And Leopold was right. He was too over-levered, man.
That's the tragic part is the thesis is coherent and it still stands.
Yes.
And there was nothing wrong about his positions or his directional ideas of where the market was going. He just did it all wrong because he was using improper position sizing and most importantly, leverage. I mean, this is what happens when you use leverage.